Welcome to another episode of Problematic the Podcast. What got in the building with me today?
JBrownX, man.
Where'd that name come from?
Uh, Actually, it came from school. Um, Everybody was like, your name is Jay Brown, but you got to be something different. And the X basically is like the unknown variable. Y equals mx plus b, I think it is, something like that. So like the X is the unknown variable of that equation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was something you came up with in school.
low key. Yeah, low key.
Different.
Well, after school for real, but I had to put some thought to it. Yeah.
Makes sense. What made you start making music?
I always been into music, man. My whole family's been into music. My mom's a singer, My brothers playing the piano. My other brother's a rapper. I mean, I remember being like 3 years old, being like, my grandma had an entertainment system. We used to go congregate around her system and stuff. And I used to be mind blown by the sounds that came out the speaker. And I remember one day my brother came in the crib with a CD and put a CD in there. His voice came out, and I was like, I couldn't believe like you could even do that. And mind you, it's like 1999 when this is happening. So seeing that, it like I started rapping. I'm writing raps in 4th grade at that time now because what was possible.
What kind of music you listened to before rap?
Before rap, well, I mean, I grew up listening to rap because of my brother. Being in the car with him and listening to Dipset and all that shit, and all the state property niggas at a young age, killing my eardrums. But before that, it was just my grandma's stuff and my mom's stuff. It was a lot of soul music in the crib, a lot of Luther, Donny Hathaway and all that other type of stuff. Michael Jackson for sure, Stevie Wonder, James Brown. Yeah.
You drop your first song, you feel like people understood your sound? Or like, were you ahead of your time?
I really feel like I was ahead of my time for sure. I feel like when I came out with my first song, I think it was Oh Lord, or I'm not really sure which one it was, but when I dropped that song, it kind of like blew up by itself. It was the peak of the SoundCloud days when I dropped that, and it was different, and it was distinct. And I feel like a lot of my friends said my voice is very different. So like I feel like I had my own sound before niggas was on that wave type shit. Yeah.
I remember Oh Lord, Booming,
Word.
stuff like that. You have a lot of references to New York in these tracks. When you first came out, I didn't even know you was Trav's little brother for real, for real. I thought you was. I didn't even know that you were around here. I thought that you was like a New York artist or somebody niggas went to school with around here that put some songs out before it blew up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So how long was you in New York?
So
Because I can tell
basically,
that it kind of influences your sound for real.
right. Well, it's actually a weird story how I was even born in Reading. My mom basically says I was born here by mistake visiting my grandma. But we lived in Brooklyn. We have a house in Brooklyn and shit. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. That's where my grandparents and all of them is from. And they dominated that area. And we was visiting here, and I popped out my mom. And long story short, parents separating and stuff like that. Even from kindergarten all the way, all the way up. Like I would go to school district out here, but in the summertime, I would go to New York to
Okay.
spend time on the block out there with my friends and shit. Yeah, Brownsville. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Uh,
I mean, I know there's clear differences, but like
Culture
to you,
differences. It's more like a culture difference at that time, but I mean, Reading is pretty much very much similar to Brooklyn. I mean, there was a lot of Brooklyn cats that moved out here too around that time. So I feel like I had a lot of friends that we knew from Brooklyn that came out here type shit
I
that
feel
knew
that
my
Reddit
family
doesn't
and
get
shit.
the. I don't want what else the word I'm looking for. It doesn't get the
Notoriety.
notoriety it deserves for how many people are here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's very true. It's very true. People just think Reading is just Reading, but I think it's a lot more than that, and they don't really understand like the cataclysmic effect of Reading, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because you grow up and you meet so many people out here. Like if you're black, you meet a lot of Mexicans, you meet
Right.
Asians, you meet Dominicans, you can
Right.
meet Africans. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
it's a melting pot of people.
Culture,
Yeah, culture
for real.
all up and through out here.
Yeah.
And people like I don't know if they Google Pennsylvania whatever and they think it's all like horses and and
Right.
farms.
They look at the Monopoly board and say Red and Railroad like it's a joke. Yeah.
What made you step away from dropping music for a while?
Distractions. I feel like I'm a man of many hats. So I do a lot of things good. I feel like I'm good at a lot of things. So with that being said, it's like there's so many variables, like with working and business and other hobbies that I got. It's like I try to multitask. Like I had a problem growing up where it's like I never just focused on one thing. I was just good at everything until like I got to a certain age where it's like, yo, I have to hyper focus if I really want to like take this shit to that level. You know, I came out playing and my song did a couple 100,000 streams before, you know, on the first try, you know. But like just letting that go and having everybody in my ear, like, yo, you got it, you got it. People I don't know. I remember I went to a video shoot and nigga heard my voice. It was like, yo, are you JBrownX? I'm like, yeah. It was some Asian kid. We with my man, shout out my man Kenny Turnup. We was shooting his video. He was like, yo, bro, you got me through college. And nigga rehearsed my whole verse on Grew Up. And I was like blown away. And that's kind of when it like hit me, like, I gotta stop playing because niggas around the world, there's niggas in Thailand, Arizona, Houston, Texas, Florida, Cali, Vietnam, streaming my shit from Grew Up and Booming and all of those joints. So like I really feel like I can't, you know, people in my ear like, yo, you can't there's nothing different between you and them niggas on stage for real. Like,
SoundCloud era was different, man. Like that music was really popular to people.
Yeah.
When they listened, they listened. The shit, it's not like YouTube. It's not like streaming. It's like,
right.
You know, they had to get the app on their phone, or they really had to sit down at the computer and listen to shit on SoundCloud.
Right. A lot of people wasn't paying for music at that time. This is before, you know, Spotify and Apple Music was really powerful like they are now.
You had fans on there. You had fans. Those were a real thing.
Yeah. And they love the culture, you know, around the world. So, yeah.
So what got you back into making music?
I never really stopped. What really got me back into it was watching whack-ass niggas get on, for real. Like, niggas that I feel like ain't even talented, they just know the right people or got in the industry somehow. And, you know, I'm not hating on nobody, but...
It is a not what you know, but who you know industry.
Yeah. So I feel like seeing that and knowing I could make music better than them, or, you know, or listen to these people's albums and these labels putting packages behind them, and I'm like, this is what they're putting out. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, you know, so, yeah.
What's your studio vibe like?
It depends on how I feel. It depends on where my mindset is at. It depends on if I have motives, if I have an agenda, or if I want to create like a in the moment, however I'm feeling. It really depends. I really can't really.
So like, what's your creative process? You be creating at home, you writing your phone?
Sometimes I have a specific creative process I took from Michael Jackson with the voice memos. He used to run around with a walkie-talkie recorder, and he used to say he used to record on airplanes and shit. And that's what I started doing. Not necessarily airplanes, but doing like mumbling cadences. I felt like the flow was more important than anything. So I would mumble cadences and then come back and restructure the whole song in a second phase and do it in phases until it was a final song. That's one way I do it. But then there's times where it just comes out. I'll hear a beat and I can't listen to it twice. Sometimes I gotta just like, as soon as I hear it coming on and I notice it's it, I have to stop the music. Yo, we gotta set this up because I'm about to do something, and then just try it. And sometimes shit comes out, and sometimes it's not as great as I feel it's gonna be, but I could create something out of it. Yeah. So
that's tough. That's different.
What?
Then you know, a lot of artists these days scroll YouTube, look for a beat, get in, punch in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'll punch.
I like punching in too, because I believe that. I might have lost for words today. Damn, what's the word I'm looking for? The music, when it comes right off the top of the head, that's good music. You know what I mean?
Right. Right from the soul. Shout out Rich the Kid, man. I feel like Rich the Kid and like Famous Dex. I feel like they were the ones who kind of like really took that punching.
Artists?
Yeah,
man, they got that shit from Lil Wayne.
You see, I don't know that. I thought Lil Wayne was one of them niggas.
But Lil Wayne got that shit from other people too. You know what I mean? It's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like off the top of your head, that kind of impulse music. Like you say, when when you get it, you put it in your phone. That's it's almost the same thing they're doing. They're just at the studio with that impulse.
Right.
You got the impulse and you put it down so you can remember it when you get in there and do something. But it's kind of the same thing. When that creative thing hits, you got to put it on something.
Right.
It's just, it has its differences.
Right.
If music stopped tomorrow, who would J Brown be? Or JBrownX?
I'll be an entrepreneur. I'll just be an entrepreneur that figures out a way regardless of situation. Yeah. That's if music stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one thing people get twisted about you.
That's a good question. I don't really know. I never really thought of that. People, damn, let me think about that. I feel like people don't realize how good I am at rapping for real. I feel like people would not expect me to be a rapper when they see me, and then they find out I could out rap most niggas, like in my opinion. And then like they find out that I'm nice, and they be like, damn, I never. Oh, and one thing is they hear my voice and then see me in person, like, damn, you mad fucking big. I didn't think you was that tall type shit, Yeah.
Who's your rap influences? You say you listen to like Dipset and State Property.
Yeah, I used
older brothers.
Yeah, I used to really like when I was young listening to Dipset for sure. Joel's, I love Jim, Jay-Z for sure. But I really had a thing for the way that Petey Crack used to flow, Petey Crack's flow and Wayne. But there was something about Petey Crack that like that shit was like I was like that nigga special. That nigga's nice. Like and Joel's for real too. But as time went on. I'm big on Michael Jackson and all of the melodic shit, and then Drake came along with the melodic shit. You got P&D. Right now you got Fort Kari. I like Fort Kari. There's a lot of I like vibe. I'm more into vibe. I feel like the vibe is nowadays specifically the vibe is more important than words.
It fits in with you like flow. You know what I mean? All those artists have different types of flows.
Right.
And they known for their cadence on tracks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even Michael Jackson.
Right.
He would like scat kind of on tracks.
Right.
And stuff. When people listen to your new project, what's an emotion you want to hit them?
Dark energy. Ambiance. That like I like that just that almost
like an emotion. You want to
dark,
I like what you mean by dark?
Like something that'll give you goosebumps off of a bass line, like reverberating through the room harder than anything else. Like I like chopped and screwed flows. I don't know how to really explain it. Almost like a slow, dark, but like modern ambient sound type shit. Like a blend of the two.
I dig it.
Yeah.
You feel your music represents your reality or like your fantasy?
It represents who I am for sure. It just comes from me, it is me. My music is me, literally. Like the shit that I've been doing is coming popular, and I've been doing this shit since 2015. My sound, like I got songs right now that go against new shit from 2015. 10 years later, and I could go song for song with somebody on some new shit, and you wouldn't know I made it 10 years ago. That shit. Yeah.
What's holding you back from dropping?
Distractions. Distractions, women, relationships.
You gotta drop music when they're around too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're honestly, if you listen to a lot of my music, they're the influence of the music. I used to actually, there was a point to where I used to ask God to put me through shit so I could write about it. But I thought it was
fucking wild.
I thought it was I'll tell you the truth. I thought it was more like, well, I'm gonna become a millionaire and rap about it, and I got a different reality and I'm rapping about it.
I gotta experience this pain.
Yeah. It happened that way for real, but in a good way too. It's good shit I rap about. I rap about good things and bad things, girls wanting to get married, all that shit. I rap about. Like I got songs like Larry Marr. Y'all gotta listen to Larry Marr. Larry Marr. When we get that on the DSP, shout out Kenzo, he's working on that now. When we get that on the DSPs, that's an interesting one. I think y'all gonna like that. Yeah.
When it's all said and done, what do you want your name to mean in this game?
I want it to be different. I just want to be different. I want to be JBrownX. I want to be known for a sound. I want my aura to speak for itself. I want to immortalize my sound. Like after I'm gone, I want people to be able to be touched by my vocal frequencies when I'm dead, when I'm not here, when I'm in the grave. Somebody, my grandchildren, be like, yo, that's my grandfather, or whatever the case may be, or 40 years from now, somebody's like, yeah, this nigga was nice, or whatever the case may be. Because who knows what the future's gonna hold when they start sampling shit 40 years from now. I just want to have a distinctive sound where they was like, yeah, this guy was underground, but he was mad nice. Who knows? I might blow up, whatever the case may be. But in the future, that's kind of like what I try to strive for right now, at least.
Think it's difficult to make your own distinctive sound?
Nah, because it comes from my heart, and it took a long time for me. It took me time to find it. But once I found it, that was that. Once I found my sound and what I'm doing and what I got to do to be right for what I'm feeling, it's almost like a artist trying to explain what he sees, like a painter trying to explain what he sees before he paints it. Like I had to find a way from almost like a thought to speech process of what I see here versus what I'm creating vocally, or like with the sonics of the beat and the sound and everything meshing together. That took time to get to, like, that's what I was thinking about versus what the engineer is creating versus what I'm actually thinking. Yeah. So I was actually recording my stuff for a minute, but I realized I can't do that because I have to be able to use my brain power to something else to get the end result that I'm looking for. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
You work with any specific engineers for this process? You got any that you like?
All my engineers that I work with, we putting out good content. I mean, I recently started working with the local engineer here at Problematic. We got a song.
Soundboy.
Yeah, she wanna. Soundboy, shout out Soundboy. We had an engineer, I forgot his name. Retro. Yeah, shout out to him.
Retro, that's my guy.
It took some time. It took us almost we was in there for 4 hours. But I know what it takes, and we got on the same page and we made some fire shit with the specific sound that I'm looking for, and it came out just like what I was thinking, and it all came from the hip too. It wasn't no written, or I knew what I was gonna do. It was kind of one of those like, all right, when we get to the vibe and we get the flow and we get all of that together, let's start painting, and that's what we did, and we got that song. It's called She Wanna. Yeah.
Tough.
But
you like making music in the studio or out the studio?
I like to be in the studio.
Like when for the writing process and all of that?
No, because sometimes my writing process happens in the car. It happens on a plane. It happens when I go for a walk. I'll hear a song in my dreams sometimes, and then like wake up and make a voice memo of what I heard.
So you treat the studio as just work?
Yeah, studio is just work. But there's times where I go, like my brother, he used to really recommend that I like don't waste the studio time and put the energy, work efficiently. But after like I was recording, like when I was away from everybody, I was recording in New York and shit, just free time, catching time, and I created some of the most toughest songs that I had off the hip, and I learned that like I have to like just go with the flow sometimes. I can't always, have an execution plan. Sometimes I created some of the dopest shit just off of like walking in the studio and just pulling up a beat and it just hits me. Then sometimes,
Impulse.
Yeah, impulse, right? Yeah.
If your younger self could see you now, what would he say?
You're doing what I wanted you to do. Yeah. You're doing exactly what I wanted you to do. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted you to pray for like heartbreak.
Nah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily praying for heartbreak. I was like, you know what they say, like when they say be careful what you ask for. like you didn't ask for that, but this is what you're getting now.
I dig it.
Without intention and being specific and precise with your words. Being precise is very important. You open-ended. Sometimes you get a different reality from it.
Believe in like manifestation even through song?
Yeah, I believe in manifestation for sure. Off the rip. I'm into that manifesting. I manifest a lot of stuff, and it happens. Yeah.
I see it happen for a lot of artists, like, because I think that even the process of writing a song is a lot of manifestations. You writing something down, you're repeating it a bunch of times. You speak it to yourself. You got to believe it so other people can believe it. You know what I mean?
I think it's like a mantra.
Even if it's like, when I ask you if the music is personal to you or if it's your fantasy. So even if it's not true for you yet, that kind of repetitiveness can make everything you're saying happen.
Right. Yeah, facts.
in all in you know in all kinds of music, and love music, and gangster music, and
Right.
fucking all that shit.
Right. I mean, pretty much, I don't really like get like too out of hand with my music. Like everything that I talked about literally happened.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you I got your girl in a Porsche, I was driving a Porsche at that time, and it was my shit. If I told you I saw a dead nigga and I had to walk over him, I saw a dead nigga and I had to walk over him, and that happened. You know, niggas die every day out here in Reading, like, you know, real shit. It's kind of, Reading's real crazy for real, and people don't really realize that. Brooklyn's crazy too, you know. So it's like both ends of that spectrum is my reality type shit. Yeah.
But not even just Brooklyn, Brownsville,
Brownsville, right? Right, specifically. What up, bro?
So before we get out of here, man, tell the people where they can find you at, and when
Man,
you're gonna hit them with some new music.
y'all gonna get some new music in the next 2 weeks for real. From this day, but by the time this interview is uploaded, y'all definitely gonna be able to go to the DSPs, all of them, and just type in JAYBROWN capital X, and there you go. You gonna get my sounds. I got a mixtape we working on. It's pretty much ready. We just at the point to where we gotta make sure everything is together. All the masters is done. All the mixing is to the point of where we want it sonically. That's called Northside Trench Baby. And that's gonna be the name of that tape. And that's gonna be volume 1. And yeah, y'all be able to get that on Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, all of the DSPs out there. Y'all gonna be able to get your hands on that for sure.
Fine.
Yep.
I appreciate you for coming by, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's my pleasure, man.
No doubt.